Hey everybody, how are you? It's Andy. Today I haven't done a video in a while, but today I want to do one on the newest iteration of the Pod Mobile. There's a company called Audio Sigma. Fernando Ed Pierres does it. He runs it. It's his creation. The guy's a genius with this stuff, and he came up with the Pod Mobile, which is basically mobile podcasting without a big expensive big ass rig. You put two microphones in it. You can monitor, plug it right into your iPhone, and power a 48 Phantom microphone, a condenser microphone. It's really very cool. So, not long after the Pod Mobile came the MikeHero. I've done videos on the MikeHero, so you've seen what that looks like. And now, in spring of 2024, a new device has come out, and it's called the MikeHero. But it's really like the Mike Superhero. It's pretty amazing. It has everything that the MikeHero before it had, but more. So this is like MikeHero 2.0. Let me go over this real quick, and I'll look at it in more detail in a minute. But I just want to go over real quick what it has. It has the simple gain and volume knobs. It has your XLR hookup. It has your mic inputs, power inputs, and other inputs as well that I don't even mess with. But what's new about this one is the old MikeHero had little switches on the side, a bunch of them, that had like for high pass filter, EQ. Actually, there's only a couple, right? So this one, I have to put my glasses on. Damn it. This one has, it also has the muting button, and we'll go over that in a second. But if you look at the back of this thing, there are four touch pads. These are buttons, but they're touch. And there's a denoiser, a limiter, but depop, and then an equalizer with different settings. It's amazing how simple it works. All you got to do is teach this thing the sounds you want to noise out, denoise. Hold it, it turns pink. And again, I'll show you this. It turns pink. Got your sound. Maybe put like 10 seconds of time into it. And then there's four settings for a very light, a sort of medium, a kind of hard, and a pretty damn hard gate. The other items I've messed with a little bit. You can hear the differences in the EQ, the limiter, but the denoiser is sort of a game changer, depending on where you are and what kind of noise you're dealing with. But it's really very cool. It only has switches on the side now to do three things, sorry. Dynamic and condenser mic, what's your choice? It knows when you plug up or down. There's a loop feedback so other people can hear what you're hearing if you're on a phone call or something. And then there's the lock switch. The lock switch is important because once you set your settings for the room you're in, like this is a dining room in the house that we're in right now. And of course, it's probably echoey and all that. But either way, maybe not that echoey. But once you get your settings, you lock it. The little light goes green, it goes green, and now you don't have to worry about accidentally doing this because they're sensitive. If this thing is sitting on the table in front of you and you pick it up to do something, you might hit one of these buttons quite easily and then boop, blow up your whatever settings you might have had. So that is the quick overview down and dirty of the new MikeHero DSP. I love this thing. I'm 5'6", right? So I'm not a giant guy. I have relatively small hands, right? So that's my hand, my right hand with this thing. That's how big it is. And of course, the guy's deciding to blow leaves while I'm recording, but that's okay. There it is. I want to compare it to an iPhone. This is an old iPhone 13. There's the size of it. It's for a 13. It's like 60% of its length. For an iPhone 14, like what I have, what I'm recording this with, it's closer to almost 2 because it's a bigger phone, right? The width is about the same. I can almost hide this thing. Look at that. I can hide it. Not wide at all, right? And then the new MikeHero is about the same size as the old one. That's its thickness. Here's an iPhone thickness. There you go. It's almost the same thickness minus the knobs, of course, and the little the foot stands, and the bolts that hold it together. And of course the XLR, you can't do anything about that. That's going to be a certain thickness, but still, amazing. Now I carry this as a travel rig, right? In case I go somewhere and I don't want to carry a bunch of stuff. I have a Cinco mic that I use on the road. I have a 416 I use in the booth, as well as an MK4. I'm not taking those with me. No way. The Cinco's a good mic. Wasn't that expensive. Works great. So it's perfect for travel on the road, that type of thing. Even in the car. And I've done videos in the car, so you've seen those. It does great in a car. Cars have nice acoustics for some reason. Well, probably because they're designed to have good acoustics when you listen to your radio, right? So I'll show you real quick here what I use to carry all my stuff in. And I have to shout out to Karen Gilfrey, who had a little clip somewhere. I don't know. I saw it on Facebook. It was a VO Atlanta where she showed what she carries her stuff in. It's the case for the MKH416. It's perfect. So you can take a look at that real quick while I'm talking. Everything fits just perfectly. Sits in there what this does. Microphone, little stand, the cables you need, a little set of old headphones that work just fine. Everything you need's in there. I used to carry something different. It was a bigger, fatter case, like this big and this fat, and it worked and it had some padding in it, but it was a pain in the ass. Most of this stuff doesn't need padding, and the MikeHero is fairly secure. And if I need a little piece of padding, I could cut something out and just stick it in there. But it's perfect. So thanks to Karen Gilfrey, I learned something. And maybe if you haven't learned it, now you have. You learned something today. Use your MK416, your MKH416 case as your travel rig carry case. Perfect. All right, let's get into a closer look of the MikeHero. Oh, by the way, what you're listening to is me talking into my Cinco microphone off to the side here through the MikeHero I had prior to this 1.0. So again, powered by the iPhone, and it will power any mic. And I'll tell you right now, the customer service with Audio Sigma and Fernando is amazing. He sent me one of these to test out. I had an issue with the 416 with static. I had a TLM49 run through it. There's a video I have. And it worked great, except for the 416. So I sent it to him, and he found the issue real quick, sent it back, works perfect. You look at the inside of this thing and wonder, oh, that's, why is it open? I can see right through it. It's going to get all kind of stuff in there. I wouldn't stick my face right to it and blow it, but you can get that air stuff to blow up. But more importantly than any of that is Fernando coats this thing with some kind of polymer, resin, I don't know. But it's something they use for like Arctic equipment to keep moisture and other damaging things out when they're in the Arctic. Not just dust. There's worse things than dust probably, right? So it protects that. It's like a marine coating, and he uses that here. So this is pretty well protected, and I have not had an issue ever. I don't keep it in a plastic bag. I don't keep it hermetically sealed. It always works when I need it, and I have needed it a few times, and I've done some auditions on it. Auditions I got shortlisted for, and I did them in a place that wasn't home. It wasn't conducive to great recording, but I have an old MacBook from 2011 that my wife used years ago, and now she got a new one, so I took it, put new memory in it, put new battery in it, cleaned it up, as many megabytes of RAM as I could put. I think gigabytes. I think it's 16 or something, maybe 32 max in that thing, and it runs fairly well. So I use Twisted Wave on that for on the road recording. But if I really had to in a pinch, and I was out and about and I had my kit with me, and I don't always carry it, but I could use my iPhone and record on the Twisted Wave for the iPhone for a quick audition, and it would sound great. Could I play with it quite as much? Maybe, but it sounds great. So real quick, we're gonna go over the close-ups and the lights of the MikeHero. I hope that's in focus. I hope I'm in focus. Let's take a look. Okay, everybody, we're back, and now we are actually plugged into the Audio Sigma MikeHero 2.0, and I'm recording through it as I speak. First, let me show you the mute button. Cannot hear me. See, you couldn't hear me, and it was blinking, so you know. Headphones plugged in, power's on, as indicated by the blinking power light. But let's get to the fun stuff, the back. There we go. Okay, so you can see I've touched, see how delicate it is? Let me turn all this stuff off here. Okay, off. Now you see the green light touches and it disabled. Nothing will happen, so I can't screw anything up. The most basic settings are the loop back. I don't mess with. If it's on, it's green. I don't deal with that. Condenser versus dynamic. If it's not set to condenser, you get no 48 volt power and your mic won't work. Real simple. Now let's play with the stuff. Listen. I've already do it, but I'm going to do it again. Watch the color of the button. Don't talk when you do it. And then I will set it, and here we go. That's your green lightest gate. That's the orange, my favorite color for gate. That's like your medium. Right? I don't know if you can hear the blower. It's blowing. That's the hardest gate. I'm sorry, the second hardest gate. There's light. Orange was medium. This is the hard, and then here's the damn hard. So there you go. Can you work with that? Probably. But that's your hardest one. I prefer that one. Now let's play with the limiters. Here's the first setting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off. I leave it at green. The D pop. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. 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 I'll do green. EQ. Again, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. That's very bassy, isn't it? I think I like the green one. For me, the biggest thing is the denoise. These all work. They do function. And you have to have sometimes people have really sensitive ears. They can tell better than I can. But I do hear the difference, especially in the EQ. How's that sound? The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. I think the hard gate is maybe a little too hard. But again, it depends on where you are. This is not a great environment I'm in. I'll go into my booth and record at these settings. I'm not touching nothing. And I'll record just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do that so you can hear what it sounds like in the booth in a treated area. And we can go from there. Okay, so let's go to the booth. Okay, hi, got my glasses on because I'm in my booth. This is not my real booth. This is a temporary booth because I'm in another house while our other house is getting renovated and while I wait for my new Scott's sound booth, vocal booth to come at the end of this month. So this is what it sounds like in a booth, and it is the 416 I'm using. I turned off the denoise. I'm going to pick up the MikeHero at the risk of making noise. There it is, locked. Denoise is off. I'm in my booth. I'm on the 416. And I have the gain at it's almost noon. That's what I had it out there, almost noon. What do you think? I said it's not precise in the sense that you can pick, like, no, I'm at minus 50. I'm at minus 51. I'm at minus 40. You're kind of guessing. Noon I found to be a pretty good one. Between 10 and noon. So right now it's set to noon. And I think it's pretty good. I could turn it down. I could, you can master it up. And just for fun, why don't we plug it into the MK4 just to see what happens, see how it sounds. Okay, here we are on the MK4. What do you think? Let me turn the gain down a hair. There we go. Sounds pretty good, don't you think? I think it does. Am I hearing everything just right with my headphones in? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Picks up everything, right? And you can play with the gain again. I'll put it down to 10 o'clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today is May 2nd, 2024. I'm recording with the the MikeHero 2.0 on the Sennheiser MK4. And I am not unhappy with what I'm hearing. There you go. Pretty good. All right. I think that's it. So, what do you think? Pretty cool device, huh? I love this thing. It's not that expensive. It does an amazing job for what size it is. It's very light. I didn't do the weight testing. I might have done it before, but it's as much as this iPhone 13. In fact, I think the iPhone 13 is heavier with the case. It's light, 7 ounces, maybe a little more, if that. Super light. Deck of cards heavy. It works great. Customer service is great. It's an amazing little device. And I can only imagine what Fernando's going to come up with in the next year or two. I really can only imagine. Because I don't think this is his end game. But right now, very impressive. So, I'm not paid for this. I'm just telling you, I was sent this from Fernando for free because I'm a huge believer in him, and I've tested these, done videos on them before because I believe in the product, and I'm always for the small business guy trying to make himself into a larger business guy, and at the same time creating a product that helps people in our line of business, voiceover and things like that. Can you do an audiobook on this in your car in a crappy location? No. Could you do an audiobook with this thing as an audio interface? Yeah, you could if you had the right studio. I haven't done tests with my Apollo. I have an Apollo MK2 twin that I just got last year. I also have a Rode Podcaster Duo too. And if my Apollo went down, I could probably use the Rode if I had to. But if I didn't have the Rode and my audio interface went down and I have one of these, could I do work with this? Yeah. Could I make it match what my Apollo puts out? I haven't tried. But in a pinch and you need an audio interface in your studio, your home studio, you're not going to go wrong with this. You can record quality audio in a studio environment. Maybe we'll try that out. All right. That's all I have for today. More than enough. I appreciate your time. Remember, I'll put a link to Audio Sigma in the video's info doohickey. I don't make a lot of videos. Audio Sigma, MikeHero, Pod Mobile. Tell Fernando Andy sent you. And you pay the same price. There's no discount. Take care, folks.